Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm reviewing Core of Discovery, a game I previewed back when it was on crowdfunding, and disclaimer that I got a review copy of the deluxe edition of this one. In Core of Discovery, 1 to 4 players are basically playing cooperative Minesweeper. In the scenarios in the game, you have these different logical connections between terrain types, and on each turn, you remove one of these tokens with this map lying underneath it, and use that logic to try to figure out where you're going, what resources you need, so that your team can pay to survive tough challenges that confront them each day, while also trying to complete the scenario's objectives. So let's discuss 5 key things to know about Core of Discovery. So first, from my number 5 point, the least important of the 5, but still important or I wouldn't mention it, is the co-op in the game. And this is a mix for my taste. On the positive side, there are a lot of interesting things to discuss and plan out in each player's turn, because you have your own character powers, you have your own gear powers, so making sure that the right person is exploring the right place at the right time is going to challenge your group. But on the potentially negative side, depending on your group, a lot of the game, as I said, is about making these logical deductions and exploring and finding the right resources you need. So if your group is one with an alpha player problem, or where one player is going to kind of dominate that discussion, it could be annoying. But if you have a group that likes to work through the logical puzzles together and doesn't conflict with each other too much, this might be a full pro. My number 4 point, which is a pro with caveats, are the character and gear cards. So I just mentioned these, but each player is going to have their own character, and they have really cool abilities that can change up the game quite a bit. And then similarly, you have these gear cards, and this is going to scale by player count. So if you're by yourself, you have a whole bunch of gear. If you're in 2-player, you each get 2 cards. So the balance, at least in my plays, is generally maintained. You're a bit more restricted in what you can do on your turn at higher player counts, but you have more character powers to go around. And then as you get into expansions, if you get the expansions or if you get the full collected set, you get even more of these to play with. But on the potentially small negative side, I have found that some characters and items are always useful in pretty much every scenario, while others are much more niche, and I think I'll only use every once in a while, because you're allowed to freely choose which gear and characters you use. So it's not like the game forces you into a smaller subset and you have to figure out how to use better ones on your own. A minor complaint though, generally this is a cool system. And we have a very similar pro for my number 3, which is the scenario variety. So if you get the base game, you get training missions, the fauna pack, and the flora pack. And there's a certain number of maps in here. I'm actually not quite sure how many are in the base game because they sent me, again, the Kickstarter version. And each of these folders has very different rules. You have new cards, you have new tokens, you're dealing with totally different stuff, totally different objectives. Huge variety even between these 2 base ones. And then things get even crazier if you dig into the other expansions. Now here's the caveat, I'm not exactly sure how quickly these other expansions are going to be available or how easy it's going to be to get the deluxe set. And in any case, you're going to have to spend more and track more things down to get the full variety that the game offers. But even the base game, I think, is strong because the game is so good, I would be happy to just play one of these for a ton of plays. So even having 2 plus the training mission out of the gate is good. My number 2 point, which is also a pro, I really love this one, is the challenge system and resource management. So how the game works is as you remove these tokens and explore more of the land, you're putting them on top of the leftmost challenge card, and when you reach the indicated value, when you've taken that many turns, then the challenge comes due and you have to resolve it. It's going to have some kind of cost you have to play. What will happen if you pass? What will happen if you fail? And this is just an awesome, tense system. It's very thematic with different things happening as you're exploring. A lot of these challenges are going to come straight from the scenario, so they'll change up each time. And the order they come out and the resources they demand of you give tons of variety play to play in what you need to be worrying about. And you have very limited capacity to hold things. You'll be running out of water very quickly if you're not completing challenges. So again, all these systems just build up to nail-biting tension, and that's the one potential negative, that the game could just be so punishing. Like if you fail several challenges, if you just aren't finding the right resources because you aren't exploring well, you could be in a world of hurt and die of thirst or starvation very quickly. I mean, I like that for a game like this that is a survival kind of horror exploration thing, but it's going to make some players feel a little sad, I imagine. And then my number 1, this is a no-brainer. The most important thing to know about the game is the logical deduction and exploration. Love this system. Yes, I've seen people describe it as solo cooperative Minesweeper. I don't think that's a pejorative because it's Minesweeper, but so much more. Because you know so much about where some things could be, and the scenarios change things up with new types of terrain and new rules for how terrain falls out. But the thing is, it's not just logical deduction. It's not just emptying the entire map. Because you have these scenarios, because you have these challenge cards, like, oh my gosh, if we don't find mud in 2 turns, we're going to die. The scope of your exploration changes greatly. What you're looking for, what you care about, what kind of connections you're trying to find between terrain types. It's tense, it's rewarding, it's thought-provoking, all the kind of things I love in games. It's just a blast. So overall, Core of Discovery was one of my favorite crowdfunding games from last year, and it's one of my favorite games in general from this year. If you like logical deduction, if you like adventure and exploration, if you like survival and the tension that comes with it in games like Robinson Crusoe, I think you'll really enjoy this one. But on the other hand, if you want a ton of variety and you don't want to buy anything besides the base game, it might let you down a bit. And also, if you want a game that offers a relaxing experience, you're not going to find it here. It is very tense. Survival is often by the skin of your teeth, so it's going to stress you out if you play it. And if you want to see the game in action, I have my old preview playthrough, as well as another one I posted a week or two ago. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.